So I wanted to explain to you that I made a mistake in seeding too soon in the heat. I thought the weather was going to take a change and start dipping, but it went back up. And by doing so, I have some bug pressure that started eating away at some of the plants, and I'll show you exactly what happened. All right. So over here, I seeded some radish right here, and the weather was really starting to dip, and it was looking really good when I seeded it, but it went back up. So now what I've got are the Bagrata bugs that are really prevalent in the triple digit heat. Once it cools down, they go away, but sure enough, these were very green for a while, but now I'll show you, they are like withering away from these bugs. They just get chewed away, and I don't know if you can even see one, but they're definitely in there. Some of them are really tiny, but yeah, they're pretty much all gone. I'm just gonna pull them and probably just do some beet greens while the weather's still a little warm. I mean, we're only literally maybe a week, 2 at best with these triple digits, and so I don't know if I'm just gonna wait and just start to do the fall crops in a couple weeks. I don't know what happened over here with these amaranth. There's a little patch right here that didn't come up properly. I'm starting to rework this area over here. I've already kind of like stir up these 2 areas, and then over here in this little patch back here. So also, let's see right here, these are the water spinach that John Kohler gave me. These 2 plants are doing good. This one didn't fare out so well. There was a little bug activity with them, so I have to just kind of hang on to them and see if that one pans out. Unfortunately, I'm trying to baby the tree collard, but that one's in bad shape too, unfortunately. So just gotta roll with these punches. So this first bed, by the way, I had to reseed. Again, I had some kale over at the end, and I just planted it way too soon, and Bagrata bugs loved that too, as well as the arugula. So over here I'm babysitting these beds because they're in there, but I'm able to use a plastic rake to rake the bed, like cultivate it, and also get the bugs out of there, because it's very few over there. This is doing really well over here. So I do even have some radish right here, and everything's hanging on over there, thank God. But yeah, I pulled everything, all the lettuce that was in here. It just was not doing well, so I re-prepped the beds, or the whole bed I mean, and planted some beet greens in here. I also this morning planted a little beet green in here. This whole kale bed is going. I'm gonna have to do all that. I'm gonna do an episode on the stirrup hoe and how great that tool works for turning beds. It pulls everything up and it gets everything just deep enough. You know, I don't want to go too deep, but it loosens about the top 2 to 3 inches of soil, and then from there I just use a digging fork to pull back and loosen up and aerate the soil and get some more drainage in there, and it works really well. So and then also the same rep that is doing really well here, so I'm going to be using that in the mix really soon here by midweek. So pretty happy about that. Over here I also have some more beet greens that are already coming up, and they look really good. They are close to the sprinkler head, so they're getting a lot of good getting a lot of good irrigation, so already popping up over here. I pulled the last of the tomatoes over here in this bed. I'll show you how they look. So here we are over here in these 3 beds, and I went ahead and pulled the last of the tomatoes in here, and since we're 2 weeks away from some more cooler temps, maybe even a week away, I'm checking every day the AccuWeather, and I highly suggest that for people to do that, just to keep an eye, and when you're planting your crops or seeding, you could definitely get some accurate forecasts that are going to help you when trying to seed. So it said we're a week away. I'm just kind of taking that with a grain of salt, but I threw a little bit of tatsoi down here, so trying that out. Tatsoi is going to be more in the fall crops, so I just threw it down, see what happens. This area generally gets a little cooler and gets a little bit more shade from the tree over here, and so that's why everything's doing really well over here. Gets a little shade, afternoon shade, and gives them time to cool off, so that helps a lot. And I guess that's why all these peppers are doing pretty good. I've got some pretty good pepper activity over here, growth, good amount anyways. You can see all the flowers coming in. I have some sunflowers mixed in there with also some basil, so I want to definitely interplant as much as I can. Even some these are honeydew melons, so I want to interplant as much as I can, push the limits, but that's coming out. I threw a little bit of some soil down here for this little permaculture test site, so anyways, everything's starting to really green up over here. Looks awesome, so pretty stoked on that. So anyways, getting a lot of good feedback from people, and I appreciate your support. So if you need or if you want any specific content, please let me know. I'll be glad to share my knowledge, and likewise I hope you can help me out with anything you perhaps want to throw in, and we'll get through this journey together. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.